are you? Welcome on my channel. I hope you are having a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world.
You know what they say about breakfast being the most important meal of the day? Well, that applies literally when you are on board the vessel, especially if you are working in the engine room. Down there is 45, 48 Celsius, and if you do not eat anything during breakfast time, you risk of having some serious health issues. You will get dehydrated, you will get dizziness, because you will sweat a lot in engine room, and it's better to eat something in the morning. You can have some fried egg or boiled egg or some sardines. It's nothing fancy, but just to have something in your stomach. Today, when I am recording this vlog, it is a Saturday on board the vessel, and of course Saturday is safety routine day. This is the day that I have to check all the safety equipment on board the vessel and all the safety regarding the crew on board the vessel. And of course I will start with the emergency generator. This type of emergency generator does not have spring load starting, it only starts by battery. It has two groups of battery, each group has 24 volts DC. One group has two battery of 12 volts each battery. So this is what I am checking now. Sometimes if the Vaseline on the connection is dry, I put a new batch of Vaseline. I also check the connection if they are nice and tight, because there are a lot of vibrations on board the vessel, so sometimes they can disconnect. And then after checking the cooling water and the oil level in the tank, which is supplying the emergency generator, then I will start the emergency generator. I will test it for about 15 minutes, but this will be a dry test, it is not on load. The on load test will be done at the end of the month, and usually I do that at about 150 kilowatts every time at the end of the week, usually on the last Saturday of that month. Also here I have posted some instructions for everybody to understand. They are easily read and easy to understand, because some inspectors, they ask every crew member to know how to start the emergency generator. They can even ask the chief cook. So he has to know, in case some engineer cannot come here and start the emergency generator, the chief cook or any member of the vessel has to come here and know the procedure to start the emergency generator. After I am done completing the procedure of testing the emergency generator, I will proceed to test the lifeboat. I will start with the lifeboat on the starboard side. First I will switch off the transformer, which is supplying the batteries that are starting the lifeboat, and then I will do the same procedure on the lifeboat from the port side. This is the lifeboat from the starboard side. I will first check the batteries. This lifeboat is using two groups of batteries. Each group has 12 volts DC. So you only need one group to start the lifeboat. I will check the batteries that they are all nice and tight, the connection is okay, if they are greased and everything like that. Then I will proceed to check the lights inside the lifeboat, And also I have a walkie-talkie with me, and I have to coordinate with the duty officer on the bridge to check that the compass on board the lifeboat has the same value and location with the compass on the bridge. I will also check the air bottles on this lifeboat, that they have the correct pressure inside and there are no leakages. I also check the steering gear, and then I will proceed to start the engine for about 10 minutes. The cooling of the lifeboat is done by seawater, and as you can see, this lifeboat now, it is not in the seawater, so about 10 minutes is okay, just not to overload the engine because it will not have any cooling, of course. The only thing that I cannot test is the sprinkler system, because that is done with seawater, and we will test that at the end of each month when we are lowering the lifeboat in the water, if it's possible. If we are in an anchorage place, you are not allowed to test that in the port or at sea, of course. So that is the only thing I cannot test now, but everything else I do myself. In case there are any problems with the engine or some mechanical issue, I have to contact the third engineer or the second engineer, and that's it. Anything else I know how to do myself. Like I was saying, I will do the exact same procedure for the lifeboat on the port side. This particular ship is using 2 lifeboats on each side of the ship, and the lifeboat on the starboard side is actually smaller in size, and they are using it also as a rescue boat with a certificate, but it's actually a lifeboat. And then I proceed to test the GMDSS batteries and communication batteries in general. These batteries are absolutely critical for the communication outside. We are using this to communicate with the port authorities or any nearby vessel, so you can imagine that these batteries have to be all the time in working condition. There are 2 groups of batteries. Each group has 24 volts DC. The charger for the batteries is just inside the bridge of the vessel on a separate room behind the bridge, so to speak. Also there is the VDR and other equipment. So these batteries are only for communication outside. I check the connection that they are nice and tight, they have Vaseline. I also check if there are any leakages, any spills or anything like that. And I have to be sure that they are always charged and in working condition. As you can see, they found a cheaper way of bringing these smaller cells, and one of those cells has only 2 volts. And then I admire a little bit the scenery. As you can see, it's a nice Saturday. And then I continue in engine room with the other safety routine alarms. So next will be the safety alarms on the generators of the vessel. This ship has 3 generators and 1 emergency generator. So on the main generators I will check the leakage alarms, the high temperature on the cooling water, the high temperature on the oil, and safety alarms that will be checked on any inspection. So I'm doing this every Saturday just to be sure that whenever will be an inspection they will work properly, and the engine room, at least the engine room from my part, will not have any remarks. And then I proceed to check the alarms on the main engine. Again, I will check the oil leakage alarm, which is very important, and it will be checked on any inspection. It is a high priority for any port state or vetting inspector, so I have to make sure that it is working in proper conditions. Another thing that I have to check are the bilge alarms. First, I will check the bilge alarm in the steering gear for the emergency fire pump before going for my coffee break. I will continue with the rest of the alarms after the coffee break. This is my coffee break of 20 minutes. There are 2 coffee breaks during your schedule when you work as a dayman. You have one at 10 o'clock and there is another one at 1500 at 3 o'clock p.m. So you have 20 minutes. You can either stay in engine room or you can go in the crew mess room or officer mess room. I prefer to go in the officer mess room because it is not so hot like in engine room, and it is less crowded, and it is less noise. As you can imagine, in engine room it is very noisy and you cannot relax properly. So I just come to the officer mess room, I make myself a nice coffee with milk, I take some pastry, some sweets, something that the messman has prepared. He is always preparing something for us. If not, he just takes some cookies or something that we have in the provision, which we just received in Singapore. And for 20 minutes I can relax and just think about my family and my personal life. So after I clean my plate and my coffee mug, I continue in the engine room to test the rest of the bilge alarms, which are at the bottom floor of the engine room. There is one on the port side and there is another one in the aft. This particular ship that I have recorded the vlog from does not have a bilge alarm on the starboard side. I don't know why, that is the design of the vessel, and we always get this question whenever we are having port state or vetting inspection. We just explain that this is the design of the vessel and that's it. There is nothing we can do about it. Of course, there are bilge alarms in the bow thruster room, in the steering gear, in the pump room, and I also check those during this safety round, which I am making every Saturday.
Okay, electrician, you will test the fire alarm.
Hello sir, good morning. Sir, electrician, I want to test the fire alarm. Okay sir, thank you.
And I will end this busy day with the testing of the fire alarm. This is a test that I have to do every Saturday, and in a matter of 3 months I have to test all the sensors on board the vessel, which are in total of 120 pieces. Before testing the fire alarm, I have to inform the chief engineer and the captain of the vessel, and then I can proceed with the testing. And since it's Saturday and we are in the middle of the ocean, there are no cargo operations or any emergencies on board, the captain allowed us to have a small party on board. This is the best that we can do. Of course, when you are on board, you have to know that the food is limited. We only get supplies every 3 months, so we cannot do a party with so much food every Saturday, but once in a while the captain will allow us. Depends also on the chief cook, if he knows how to make proper portions to have food for the next 3 months when we will receive the next provisions. So we have arranged here a small karaoke. We put some lights just to feel like a disco. If you are coming on board, you will see that the Filipinos enjoy the karaoke very much. So me being the electrician of the vessel, I made this setup for them. I put some speakers over there, I arranged the mic, everything is tested and it's working condition. They already ordered some new songs for the karaoke, so they are enjoying their time very much. I also enjoy it. It is better than staying in the cabin alone and watching movies. Better to stay here with the guys. The chief cook is making a nice barbecue for us. We are enjoying our time very much. It was a very busy week. We were loading in Algeria and it was a very busy time. We also had a port state control. So as you can imagine, this is our relaxing time. This is the best that we can do. Like I said, this is not a 5-star hotel. We don't have the best conditions, but it is better than nothing. Believe me when I tell you, I have been at sea for the last 13 years and I have been in many companies, and some companies do not even supply the provisions for the daily work of the guys, never mind parties on board. So it's okay like this. As you can see, our messman has made some nice donuts with some cashew nuts and Nutella. This is very nice. We are enjoying our time because we are away from our families, but this is the best that we can do. We have signed up for this, we know exactly what we are doing. And then I like to go to the gym for a little bit. If you don't do any gym, any cardio or anything like that, those donuts will give you a big belly after you finish your contract. So I do not want to become fatter than I already am. So that is a whole day on board. I hope that it was helpful and entertaining for you. maybe you are coming on board soon, or maybe you are just curious about the seaman life, I have shown you now a full day on board a chemical tanker. If you want to see more of this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support me and you like my videos, don't forget to hit that like button, and I hope to see you next time here on the channel for the next video. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a wonderful day.